This is Avalon. It's a relatively new residential property with more than 300 units. But what's interesting about it is built where the Sears used to be at Alderwood Mall. And we're going to talk to not only the folks from Avalon Bay Properties about that, but also the people from Brookfield Properties, which operates Alderwood Mall. It's the first time they've ever done residential on one of their mall properties. They've already got some new businesses in, including a Dave & Buster's right at the heart of it. And we'll learn all about that here in just a moment. This is Adam Tritt. He is the Chief Development Officer for Brookfield Properties, which of course runs Alderwood Mall here in Linwood. And I have to say it, a very distant cousin of country singer Travis Tritt. So virtual celebrity in our midst here. And where we're standing, Adam, this used to be Sears, and now it's not.
We are standing in the footprint of the former Sears. We worked together with our partners at Avalon Bay to demolish Sears after they vacated as the operator. We had acquired this as part of a joint venture in 2015, and we're fortunate now to stand between 328 units of residential and 97,000 feet of replaced retail where the former Sears was, bringing a new element of energy, excitement, and activity to Alderwood.
And we will talk about that residential property in a moment with the team from Avalon Bay. So how did we come up with this plan instead of saying, well, let's just turn it into another retail space?
Sure. So as the retail industry has evolved, we've been fairly proactive redeveloping anchor boxes. As the department store industry consolidated, we recognized that there was not the need to have 4, 5, and 6 department stores at each of our properties. So we were able to get out ahead with the forethought of our leadership to acquire some of those proactively, to start to control our own destiny, and really start to look at the future of what does the community want us to be? How do we best engage with them? And the answer here in Linwood was to create more uses, give people more reasons to come to the property, more reasons to stay, and be a more fully integrated portion of their lives.
And just to be clear, because you told me this door here that's now an exterior door entrance to the mall actually used to be the entrance to the Sears. So you were still able to make use of that and provide foot traffic, easy foot traffic into the mall.
Those doors are right where the entry to where Sears used to be. So yes, one of the things we like about this project is what we've done here is still fully integrated with the existing retail property. We're not adding uses across the street. We're not doing multi-use. We're truly able here to achieve mixed use where we're blending together the retail, the dining, the entertainment, and the residential.
And I'm glad to hear, did I hear right that there's underground parking for the Avalon Bay units?
Yes, that was one of the important things for us. As we think about residential and retail parking, there are some conflicts in peak times for when those parking stalls are in demand for each use. So making sure that we had dedicated available parking for the residents of the building and not do that in a way that doesn't interfere with the operation of the surrounding retail so that both uses can operate at their optimum levels was very important as we were planning the project.
Okay, so this is not the first where we've done mixed use at a Brookfield property, is it?
This is not the first where we've done mixed use. This is the first time that we've been able to bring fully integrated multifamily for rent property to a mall site. So as Brookfield Properties, we're fortunate. We have 130 retail properties across the country. The overall firm manages 350 million square feet of real estate across the country. So we have other mixed use projects that sit as ground up developments across the country. But this is unique in the first time we've brought vertically integrated residential mixed use integrated directly into the retail core at one of our mall properties.
Now, I may be getting ahead of myself here, but has there been any measurable notice in change in traffic in the mall with the folks living right here?
I think it's a little early to measure the change in traffic and sales productivity at the mall based on the residents moving in. We recently hit stabilization earlier than planned, which is great, and I'm sure the Avalon Bay folks can tell you more about that. What we do see is a change in energy, a change in the way people are utilizing the site, and I think we can feel it standing here today that what goes on in this when fully leased and open with the dining and entertainment, with the residential, with the lights at night, that brings a different feel to this entry than to some of the other entries on the property. And again, that diversity of use, that diversity in trip purpose really adds value to the overall campus.
Well, as somebody who lives 10 minutes away and shops here, and my listeners and viewers are going to get tired of hearing me say that, but it would be really convenient for me to just walk over to the Cheesecake Factory.
There you go.
Although that could be a problem too. Too much cheesecake could be a real problem
well, we've
for
got
me.
plenty of options on site to mix it up.
Yeah, absolutely. The P.F. Chang's, and I can think of a dozen other restaurants that have been here at Alderwood Mall for a good long time, and I believe there might be a restaurant space that was available recently, was not in use, so somebody else could probably come in there and do something with that. And there's a lot of traffic around here, so
there sure is.
Imagine it wouldn't miss, right?
I think Josh has a lot of exciting restaurants he can talk to you about.
Excellent. All right. Well, Adam, I appreciate that. Thanks a bunch.
Thank you, Ryan.
And we are with Katie Bucklew and Gabe Levy-Arvey from Avalon Bay Properties. You saw it on the way in, this big, beautiful new building here, right here at Alderwood Mall. And the first thing I wanted to ask you, and either one of you can take this question, is what made this location work for building a property like this?
So malls have really great access, and they've already started creating a place. So what we loved about being able to come in a partnership with Brookfield was adding and layering in the residential element, which really hasn't been done across the country, but starts to create those mixed-use environments where people can work, they can play, they can live. And so this is hopefully the first of many to come.
Yeah, it's not too many places that have a Dave & Buster's right outside their front door, right? So we talked about it before we started, actually, but how many units are there in this building altogether?
Yeah, there are 328 units.
And how are we doing on getting them leased out?
Yeah, there was a high demand for this product. So we delivered end of 2021, and we were fully stabilized and leased up in September of this year.
That's amazing. So essentially, aside from the usual move-ins, move-outs, the usual cycle, it's essentially relatively full.
Yeah, absolutely. We consider that stabilized, and we've yet to really see turnover yet, as we're kind of on our first cycle of leases.
Well, what have the residents indicated in terms of how they like living right here at the mall?
Oh, so far the feedback has been incredibly positive. The synergy it creates, with the amenity spaces that we provide in conjunction with retail and restaurants has really been a big hit for our residents. And then you add in the convenient location to I-5, it's really conducive to the big sectors for jobs in the area between tech, manufacturing, and healthcare.
Okay, so, living nearby here, I spend a lot of time actually shopping at this mall, have for many years now. And, one of the things I was thinking about was, it does get a little hairy at times with traffic. Is the city planning to do anything to try to smooth things out for your residents a little bit? Because when you have a bunch of people living here now, that it certainly adds more cars to the mix.
I'm not sure I can answer that fully because we're not on the local, I'm not in the local development side, but that, parking is always a challenge. It doesn't matter what the community is or where the location is. So it's something that is always got to be taken into account, but hopefully starts to work itself out when people understand traffic patterns.
Well, and the city, too, as you know, is doing a lot of work all over town. They've got the transit center in, light rail is coming. So I imagine there'll probably be a lot of first mile, last mile, ride share sort of things, or bus over to the transit center. So it probably won't be, I would imagine, not that much of an issue.
Yeah, we have ample parking here for our residents. But yes, traffic just in the, greater Seattle area is always a concern. And we're doing things about it as far as, public transportation. So I think the fixes are in place. This can be our first, full holiday season. And if traffic is an issue, it's probably a little bit of a good problem to have with the point of success of the retailers.
Exactly, because especially with the economy the way it is, I'm anxious to see how the traffic is around here because people, might be backing off of their holiday shopping a little bit. But yeah, no, I see your point. I know if I was on my way home from work one night and, was stuck behind holiday shoppers trying to get in, might not be totally thrilled, but I get it. I get it. And you know this, moving in to a mall, it's going to be busy at certain times, and that's just, it is what it is. So let me ask the fun question. We didn't really talk, other than the mall, about what kind of amenities the building has.
Very typical of other developments. We have a fitness center, we have a business area, we have a rooftop lounge. What am I missing?
No,
a dog park.
Yeah, we really have a fabulous amenity package. You live with us. There's not any need to go get a gym membership. You need to work from home. We have co-working spaces. Really an indoor-outdoor space where you can barbecue and entertain and have a lounge. We have a full amenity package for a residential building.
Well, you just hit me where it hurts when you said barbecue, because especially when the weather gets nice around here. Even right now, it's a little cold, but you could still fire up the grill and cook outside if you wanted to. Anything else I missed we need to know about?
No, I think you captured it. If anyone's looking for a unique living experience that is like no other in the greater Seattle area, Avalon Alderwood Place is where it's at.
All right, Gabe, Katie, thanks a bunch.
Thank you so much.
And this is Josh Deckelbaum. He is the Vice President of Leasing for Brookfield Properties, handling a lot of properties up and down the western U.S. Now, this is a piece of Alderwood Mall that has been reimagined since the demise of Sears, unfortunately, after more than a century, which, is kind of hard for some of us old guys to take when something that's been with us all our lives goes away, but it means the emergence of new stuff.
Absolutely.
What kind of new stuff do we have going on that's aside from the new apartments that we've talked about in terms of retail in this part of the mall?
Yeah, we're super excited about Alderwood Mall and the development here. Opened up about 85% leased, which is fantastic, and very excited to announce that Fogo de Chao, Paris Baguette, and Shake Shack are 3 exciting new restaurants. And although I'd love to tell you the rest of the lineup, we'll save that for a later date, but it's going to be very exciting. Some of these retailers that we're going to be able to bring in. And it's not just retail, it's finding the right curated mix for the shopper, for the community, whether that be dining, whether that be entertainment, whether that be fitness. But we really understand the customer, and we really want to make it's all about the experience.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Fogo de Chao, because I just for the first time went to their Bellevue location, and it was fantastic, by the way.
You don't leave hungry.
No, you do not. And now I'm dreading the fact that one will be 10 minutes away from me just based on my my credit card bill. But it feels to me as a casual observer like that's a good fit for this property, those kinds of dining outlets. What do you think?
No, absolutely. And again, it's just about understanding the customer, having them come to the mall, dining, being entertained, being able to shop. Very, very excited about that. And we're in a very great position that we can be selective on who we bring in, which has really helped the project.
So we'll talk about that a little bit more, that move toward selectivity in terms of who and what you're bringing in.
Sure. I mean, the narrative is malls are dying. Malls are absolutely not dying. This mall is thriving, and it's because of the curated retail mix that we're able to go out there and find and bring in, whether that's the local swish or whether that's more of a chain like a Fogo de Chao, but it's the right mix. And that's what we're able to do here.
Excellent. Now, you mentioned that it was about 85% leased.
Correct.
Which tells me there's room for more businesses to come in and give it a shot.
No, there is. And again, I'd love to be able to reveal who we're talking to, but as soon as those leases are signed, it's going to be very exciting, and I promise people are going to be very excited to come back to Alderwood or come again to Alderwood and see what's happening.
Well, I give you props, Josh, because reporter trying to get a scoop, I know you have to hold it until it's appropriate to announce.
I'd love to share. It's very exciting.
So well done holding back. I appreciate that. So what should shoppers look for if they were to walk in today or tomorrow and start to discover this new reimagined section of the mall?
Well, they'll walk right through the new development, which is the former Sears. They get to walk into a very bright mall where this used to be, a box, so there's no natural light. They get to experience, apparel, service, food, movies, entertainment. So yeah, it's exciting.
Excellent. Josh, thanks for that. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
So we're with Jerry Irwin here, the senior general manager of Alderwood Mall. We're laughing because we just, I left the senior out of Jerry's title originally.
It's totally fine.
But I want to ask you how it's been for you so far having this property on site.
It's been great. I mean, when you look at malls, and we especially look at Alderwood's been around for 43 years, and I think we've done a great job staying current with a number of redevelopments over the years, and this is just the next iteration. It's the next generation of redevelopment, and having this built-in community to the center it's just added so much. We're very excited, and the project has just taken off. I mean, they're well leased. The residents seem to really enjoy it, and we of course love having them here too, and also having the opportunity to add some amazing restaurants, some amazing retail with this project. Dave & Buster's just opened and it's just been a hit, so we're excited to be able to partner with Avalon Bay and just continue that relationship.
Well, and that brings up a good point too. In addition to Dave & Buster's, what's new as this section of the mall has been redeveloped?
Well, we've got a number of tenants coming. I don't know if that's Josh's area or
we'll talk to Josh about that in a moment. We'll get to Josh. Don't worry. Excellent. So, I know it's too early to gauge the actual traffic of people who live here and are coming in, but I'm sure anecdotally you've probably noticed people walk out the front door, come right in.
We do. Not only we see the residents in the center, we see them getting their coffee, eating at the restaurants, and walking their dog around. So we do see a lot of them around the property. So yeah, we're just excited to welcome them.
Excellent. Well, it's no secret. It's now the holiday shopping season. The Christmas trees are up. Are the Santas hard at work yet?
Santa's here.
Santa's here. Wonderful.
And this year we built Santa a new home too, so you should come check that out. We've got a new Santa set and some additional holiday decor. So it really is our favorite time of year. So the mall looks great, I have to say.
I am going to confess, and you I think already know this, have many pictures with the Alderwood Mall Santas over the years.
Time-honored tradition.
And now I have a 2-year-old grandson who has his shots.
Nice.
So instead of Grandpa dressing up in a Santa suit, as he actually has for the past couple of years, that's a real thing. Well, I was under orders from my daughter, so I learned not to disobey those orders a long time ago, and it was worth it to be able to do it. But it'll definitely be worth it to bring him here, and that's a next generation for that tradition for us.
Absolutely.
So it'll be great. So with that in mind. How are we doing so far? Are we seeing people coming in and doing some holiday shopping?
Absolutely. The thing about Black Friday, it's a time-honored tradition, but over the course of the last few years, the Black Friday sales have started earlier. So the retailers have learned that they really want to get out in front of it, and they want to offer the deals, which they have, and they are this year as well. So Christmas is in full swing right now. With the sales and with what's going on. So Black Friday is still important, though. It really is. As I mentioned, a time-honored tradition, and folks like to come in. They like the experience. It's like come in, get the hot chocolate, pick up your favorite gifts for your at great prices. So and just kind of have that experience. It's things that you get as an experience that you can't get by clicking a button and hoping that whatever you've ordered shows up at your house under your tree before Christmas. That's the nice thing about doing it in person, or one of the many nice things. A, it's an experience, and B, you actually know that you pick up what you want, you can touch it, feel it, experience it, spend time with your family, take it home and put it safely under the tree. So.
Well, and you hit a key point too, because I know firsthand that your neighbors across the street at Target have been doing online Black Friday deals for a month.
Right.
So that's tough competition, but it sounds like you're still doing it. And since you mentioned the Black Friday experience, are we talking starting on Thanksgiving?
No. We want. And that's something that has changed as well. We want folks and the employees to be able to spend Thanksgiving with their families. So we start early on. We open up at 8 a.m. on Black Friday. So
What are you expecting when 7:45 rolls around?
I'm expecting a lot of folks. Yeah, I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Big lines out the door.
We're expecting great crowds. I mean, when you look at, what the National Retail Federation is saying and, what the economists are saying, it's, we're expecting a good season, especially in this region. I mean, Puget Sound is, the economy's still good. We've got a lot of folks moving to this part of Puget Sound, and, we've been a time-honored traditional shopping destination for years. So, yeah, we expect a good season.
Well, I'm glad to hear about the economy because I was going to ask you about that. I mean, certainly it's a concern. I was just listening to our friends from bankrate.com on the way over here saying a lot of people are going to be holding back this year. So you're not expecting that this year?
I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think folks, post-pandemic, they want to get out. They want to spend time with their family. They want to, to treasure them, to cherish them. And I think we're still in a good spot. So
Excellent. Jerry, what else should folks be thinking about as they come here to do their holiday shopping?
just have a good time. I mean, as humans, I think we're social creatures. So just, take the time, spend with your family, enjoy the time. I think one thing we all know is that, the employment market is tough. It's tough to get employees. I think our retailers have done a phenomenal job. They all seem to be pretty well staffed. But, I'd say just be kind. As you're out, for all of us, no matter where you are, just be kind. The folks in the service industry do a tremendous job, and, just have a kind holiday.
I think that's a good approach. Jerry Irwin, Senior General Manager with Alderwood Mall. Thanks, Jerry.
You bet.